Hey guys, welcome to Filmchi. This is Nathan. Today we are going to talk about the ending of the latest episode of The Boys and everything else that happens. This is going to be a spoiler-filled reviews. I've been doing these reviews for the weekly episodes that Amazon has been dropping, and they've been raising the game. I thought 6th episode was the best of the season. This episode did not change that. I would definitely say it. But given the first 2 minutes, and I think, or maybe the first 3-4 minutes, the whole opening, and the finale, the last 3-4 minutes, it came close. It came very close. So yeah, I'll just try to gather my thoughts around. Not a lot happened in terms of action, but I think a lot of character moments did happen. I mean, we saw most of the action last week. This week there were some sequences, and of course the ending. But I think otherwise there were important character moments that were very revealing and sets up everything very nicely for the finale. So beginning with the cold open that they have, right? I thought this was the most political out there thing The Boys has done, and The Boys has always been political, right? We've seen Homelander be reflecting more of the right ideology from the US, and Stormfront just getting the racism angle into it. It's completely that side of it. But I thought this episode just got in your face political, and a couple of my friends have almost like been offended by it. They were like, it's getting too close home now, right? And I know everyone has sides now that they're on. It's a polarized world, right? So some of the things they thought were just too much, given that they were on one side of the political spectrum. And I think that cold open where a guy is like in an echo chamber, he's like listening to the constant news, his life does not have a lot happening on the social front, he's just busy with his mundane routine, but he's listening about this fact from Stormfront, from the news sources, from a radio that he is listening, and everywhere they're creating this common enemy. And his fuse clicks, and then just one of the immigrants that is working at a store, he says, "Your light's flickering, you're a super villain," and he just in a fit of rage shoots him. We've read about these incidents, we've seen these incidents happen in real life, and that's why I thought like this came just too close, almost like how Joker impacted me when I was watching it. I thought this opening impacted me a lot, because this was real, right? And this was just too real. And then later in the episode, Stormfront and Homelander, just very what's the right term for it? I would say just like a token acknowledgement of it, not even condoning it. I mean condoning it just for the sake of it. Lip service, that's what I was talking about. It was almost lip service, just mentioning it, and yet staying on their agenda, not stopping it or looking at how it's affecting people. And then Stormfront just actually raises the game, and then Homelander with classically, and you were the real heroes. Oh god. So the politics of it got just way too much, I think, in the episode. And that's just the beginning. Now coming to the characters, I thought a lot of fun stuff happened in terms of revealing their background. Especially I think fathers and sons was a theme here, because Butcher meets his father, right, with a whole fake he's passed away thing that his mother does, just to meet him or make sure he meets his father once. And we get a background, like a layer peeling of Butcher's character. His father is obviously he's been like a bully, we learn, and he pushed him and his brother too much, and then we learn Butcher's brother committed suicide here, which I think is unlike the comics. From what I've been reading in the comics, it's probably a bus accident, so they changed it a bit, but it sort of made sense, right? So their father was a bully, and that kind of explains why Butcher is who he is. And Butcher is a bully, right? As I think Starlight mentioned a couple of episodes ago, that between Butcher and Homelander, the only difference is on which side of the issue they are. And I completely agree. And as we've seen in a lot of movies, probably in our lives, anyone who's very bullish in people, or trying to pull people down, that usually comes from how they were treated in their childhood. That's a very I think a factual thing at this point. So that was a good layer to peel off from Butcher. I think every episode this season we've been getting a peek behind the curtain sort of a thing, why Butcher is who he is. But I don't know. So when they in season 1, when they go back 8 years, when Butcher was with his wife, he was a different person. He wasn't this rude, crass, or like completely raw guy who does not give a fuck about anyone, right? So I don't know. Maybe it was his wife who had changed him, and that's why like he loves her so much and he wants her back. Maybe he was this guy before that. So that's very interesting to me, because I just remember Butcher now for all these 2 seasons how he's been, apart from that one segment with his wife where he was different. So that's also revealing. Like that's why maybe he knows his wife brings out the best film. So that was interesting stuff with Butcher before he goes to Vogelbaum later in the episode. But apart from him, I think for the others also there was some nice stuff going on. Like for MM, there was just this throwaway line where the FBI a lead, I can't recall her name, but she gives him a way out. She says, you can take your family and you can go out of the country, I'll help you do it. And he's like, once the job is done. And I love her line there. She's like, but the job is never done. So even that was revealing to me. Like MM will not betray everyone at this point. Like even though we've seen, and it sort of did not add up initially, I thought that we've seen him talking about his family all this time and how much he cares for them, and now when he's getting a way out, he will not go behind the back of the other boys, so to say, because he won't betray them. Initially I was taken aback, but when I thought about it, and that's why I do these reviews like a day later, so I can chew on all these character moments, right? I think it does make sense, because he's been so heavily involved for so much of it. He's just too close to it right now. He doesn't want to go away at the last one, like sort of betray them. So that made sense to me. On the Kimiko Frenchie bit, we have this moment where she finally starts to teach him her own sign language, and of course they start with the first word being the gun. So they're doing something there. But I just thought Kimiko and Frenchie this whole season, apart from Kimiko's brother coming earlier in the season, I don't know, I'm still not sure like they treated them rightly all through it. I know there was this very good episode last week because we got a background of Frenchie and how the whole lamplighter thing happened, but still I don't know, I'm not completely on board with the Kimiko Frenchie track. But we have one episode, so let's see how they end it. At this point I was just looking for, I don't know, something more compelling. I know things have happened with them, but I'm just not sure how much I enjoyed that, given what we've seen happen to Hughie or maybe Butcher. Of course, Butcher we got a lot this season. And coming back to Hughie sitting with lamplighter and watching those amazing superhero pornos, that was a very funny scene. But then leading to the final showdown, which was very interesting to me, what Lamplighter did, right? I mean, we all know, we were shocked that he went inside and then he self-immolated. That was one thing. Of course, there was shitty security at the 7 at the Vought headquarters. I mean, just a back alley door, come on dude, you can't have such a huge organization, people just getting in, and then a guy who's been fired or like let go from the building having security clearance. But even more than that, no CCTVs to flag these people. A lot of that didn't add up. But apart from that, also the fact that Lamplighter burnt himself there, I am not sure what was the plan there. I mean, I get it, he was done with life, he wanted to do it, but I am not sure if he saw this being like a domino thing where the lights will flicker and Starlight can get out, because they never communicated it. I discussed it with a couple of folks, I looked it up online. It was never made clear, because if he knew it, like if that was the plan, so my thought is, why would you take Hughie with you? Shouldn't he like just go alone and just make sure this happens, and then Starlight can escape? Putting Hughie there gives him like a window of danger, right? When he dies, when Lamplighter dies and before Starlight meets him, Hughie is kind of screwed. Anyone comes there, Black Noir comes there a minute before and Hughie is dead. So I wasn't really sure what was the plan there. Was Lamplighter knowing that his action would let Starlight go, or was it just like a fit of rage or like an instant suicidal thing? So I wasn't sure what was happening there, but it did give us a cool scene where Black Noir finally comes and then Maeve comes to save Hughie and Starlight, which was interesting to me. Maeve at this point, I think she has a death warrant, right? It's just a matter of time. Her girlfriend's left her, she's gone on a whole emotional rampage, and then she's done with Homelander. I'm sure like next week, I'm pretty sure I won't be surprised at all, given the background that Maeve, bites the dust, unfortunately, because she's been a very good character for the last 3-4 episodes. It's frustrating to see her demise in a manner at this point, because now she's screwed with Black Noir as well, with the nut allergy, which was just typical boys. Of course he has a nut allergy, right? And giving him a nut bar is how you'll stop him. So that was all interesting stuff on that side of the plane. On the other side, with the Stormfront and Homeland debate, I thought that was very compelling stuff as well, like how he goes to his son, because like Stormfront now wants a kid, and like he looks at a kid, and she's always wanted a kid, I guess. She wants a kid with Homelander, but before that, since he already has a kid, and we got reminded that it's the first natural born superhero kid, so these two go there, and that was a whole family drama soap opera scene, but a very, very nicely written scene, I would say, when they meet his mom and the child for the first time, and the conversations they have. And I think Homelander is just not a good father at that point, because I think his wife, or like Butcher's wife, makes compelling points there, like, and I thought she was convincing, and he got convinced, but then of course Stormfront just changed it all around, and then he turned his own son against like his mother, telling him everything was a lie, and just took her away to now he'll make him a commodity. That was the point, right? If he stays with me, I'll make sure to nurture him properly, but now he just screwed it. So that was interesting stuff, but it didn't end well, I think, at all. And now I think she'll go back to Butcher for the next episode. It's gonna be a showdown, and then all of this leads us to that final mind-bursting finale. A lot of people were down the dust. I think even A-Train's competitor I saw go, which is the Scientology thing that happened earlier in the episode. That guy told them that you're in for 7, like you're gonna get into 7. So did he know about it? I'm pretty sure why it was done is because of that Cindy, we saw last episode. I am pretty sure she was popping heads last week when we saw her, and then she was hitchhiking. She's involved. Is she working with the Vought head, or is she working with Stormfront? I am not sure what's happening there, but that head popping it, that reaction, I think summed it up. It was out of nowhere. Once one head went, and then like balloon and the sound effects of it was jarring. We've seen that happen like more stylistically in something like Kingsman. If you remember, Kingsman 1 or 2, I can't recall, but I do remember like a circle of all these head honchos or politicians sitting, and then their heads popping in. It's a very colorful and stylistic scene. We've seen that happen, but this being Boys, it was brutal. It was the sound design, the pops. Oh my god, people slipping on blood, and there was this amazing cutaway which I really enjoyed. But it was deep checking his head when this was happening. Oh god, it was just so cool. And Vogelbaum being the starting point, Homelander and Stormfront were like very calm and composed between this. Nothing indicated that they knew about it, but they probably did, is my hunch on it. So overall, I think given that amazing final ending, the heavy political tones, everything, it's a great setup for a final episode. I hope it's a long one. I don't know, I didn't check if it's 1 hour or 1.5 hours, but I really hope it's a long one. The season with the chunks of weekly thing, I feel it's sort of not given a whole narrative thing that we got from season 1. Of course, I think it's still equally good, but just the weekly thing, it just stops the flow. But this is how we've always got it, right? This sort of gives us a chance to bite the character, chew on the character moments more, think about those people when we want to discuss the show with someone. And a lot of interesting themes, especially going that political, a lot to discuss about. But just hoping the finale delivers in every sense of it. There's no cliffhanger like season 1. I mean, of course they leave stuff hanging, but I just hope it's not that cliffhanger, because then we'll have to wait a year for it. So excited. Yes, it's a good episode. What we got this week, yes. Better than last week? I don't think so. Better opening and ending than anything we've seen on The Boys, I think. Yeah, and I think that's saying a lot. So I'm excited for next week's episode. Tell me what you thought about this week's episode. Comment below. Tell me, did you like it? Did you not like it? Who was your favorite guy whose head you loved popping off? For me, it was Vogelbaum, because given the betrayals he's done and how he's treated, he's created Homelander in a way. It was just amazing to watch him go pop. So yep, let's see how The Boys ends next week. Till then, this is Nathan saying, keep filming.